Hello and welcome back to another episode of Old School AOT. Anyway, it's been a little while since our last game, and I apologize for the delay. I'm just been a little busy, but I have gotten a new microphone. So hopefully this will increase the overall audio quality of the recorded games for your enjoyment. So yeah, please leave a comment, and let me know if it's better, and please feel free to leave any comment. So we have a game between KGB Ferd, aka Ferd from Japan, the Thor expert. And yeah, very, very skilled Thor player. He's opening up with the Dwarven mine into the, zebra. So that's good. He's also scouting down here. I'll have his hunt scouted. Yeah, and he'll be ready to expand. So yeah, very great player, very well known. And over here on the left-hand side, we have Mr. Skipper under his Smurf Live for Shaka. And well, Skipper, the name pretty much speaks for himself. One of the best players of all time, arguably the best. He's gone. That's interesting. So this is very interesting. Skipper has not gone for hunting dogs. And I think this is the correct decision because if I remember correctly, the mathematics works out to where 2 zebra do not actually give you enough food for the bonus from hunting dogs to be worth the, in the case of Isis, the 90 wood and 90 gold to be able to research it. So let's see if Third has gone for it. Third has interestingly also not gone for hunting dogs, which makes me a little more surprised considering he can see the draft there. And he is researching husbandry. So Ferd is also thinking that, hey, this is going to be a lower hunt map, and I guess to him, those 2 additional draft there are not worth it. So very, very interesting meta call. But, it's quite common to see play styles like this on Oasis. Bird builds diverging from the traditional early hunting dog build. Just because the hunt often isn't there. And here we have Skipper's priest being harassed. This is always annoying when this happens, and if you can do this as Norse, I think you always should. This is great for Ferd because he's preventing the obelisk being placed out here, and he's also preventing his house from being discovered, which is good because a house right there can get picked off by a sphinx very easily. So here we go. Ferd backs off the priest because it's getting home, starts to take out the obelisk, and it looks to me like Skipper has moved just outside of the line of sight. Yeah, literally just outside of the line of sight, and just immediately puts an obelisk down. So that's great metagaming from Skipper. He knows his opponent pretty well. And all of these top players did play a lot on the ladder for the most part. So they all knew each other's playstyle to a certain extent. Temple coming up from Skipper, and let's see if Third has one going up yet. No, he does not. But given that he's gone for husbandry, and I think Skipper did too. It's just gonna in general be a slightly later advance, Or did he not? Oh no, I don't think he has. Excuse me, I was looking at the wrong one. But he is researching it right now, so he will be having it very shortly. Let's see if there's any text, not yet, but yeah, games are still pretty early on, and we'll start coming in here. He's just gonna get a look at where the temple is, nothing too important. Third is starting his own temple right now. Yeah. So as we can see, now the priest is coming out here, and he's gonna get more vision on the map. He's getting closer to Ferd. And if he obelisks here, he will be able to see that Ferd is gathering here. So that's nice. Rather fortunate too, because as you can see, it's outside Ferd's point of view, so he can't come and harass it. He might not even know about that. Or did he see it? I think he just... Nope, so close. Oh, gentlemen, that is really frustrating. Seeing that. It's just, yeah, I mean, stuff like this happens all the time, which is why line of sight upgrades are actually, like, the most underrated upgrades in the game. And definitely just giving, just boosting a unit in terms of line of sight could do a lot more than people think just because of interactions like that. Anyway, we can now see that Skipper has Ferd's food. Well, he should know it's here. He saw them head into the black, so that'll be good. He'll be able to harass them. Skipper is on the way up, as we see, and he's eating his sheep already, which is interesting. His goats, but he does seem to be gathering more. I just heard one change. So yeah, he'll be up pretty quick. Let's see what Ferd is doing. Ferd is up ever so slightly behind him, and he'll be advancing very, very soon. Let's see his his tax. So far, he only still has husbandry. I'd imagine we'll be seeing that change soon. Same for Skipper. So right here, Skipper has made a second priest, which will allow him to heal up that priest. You know, solid. He wants to prosperity, so it's probably worth it to just make another priest to do that, and just have a second priest. The monument going down looks ever so slightly vulnerable there, but, you know, I don't think it's the end of the world. We do have the Sphinx moving out, and we also have the Valkyrie coming out, and there's a Herseer here killing this off. I imagine he'll be trying to defend this point here. But the Sphinx is coming in, and so is the Herseer, so maybe we'll have a little chop here. The Sphinx does have a small out micro potential because of the faster speed, but to be honest, you have to be really on point to do that. So Skipper's just backing off, especially since this Valkyrie is coming in here, and that can be annoying as an Egyptian player. You know, if your heroes aren't in position, it can kill a Valkyrie or two. Ooh, and oh, that was some good micro from Skipper. We saw, you know, a body block. Definitely, you know, one of the hallmarks of seeing really good players play is that they will micro very well and you know, engage in a lot of like micro tricks like that, which will get them a small amount of advantage. He was able to get some extra hits in there, and well, might not seem like that matters, but these little things can add up. So Ferd is getting ready to take a Tekken Town Center. He's taken these two he's built these two longhouses, excuse me, to sort of back him up while he takes the town center. And he popped an all-suck out of there. And simultaneously, it seems that Skipper also moved for his own town center slightly earlier than that, actually. So, excuse me, I was watching something else and missed that. So now we're going to have a 2-town center versus 2-town center boom situation. Skipper's Armory coming up. And Ferd trying to establish some map control by establishing some walls. Keep in mind, these are the older unnerfed walls, so, you know, you can see how good they are, very tough. They can absorb a lot of punishment, at least from hack units before they fall. You know, siege goes right through them, but what can you do? So let's check out how Skipper's doing. From what he's seeing, you know, you see the crucial nature of trying to prevent the priest from scouting too much, because Skipper has really not scouted Ferd's side of the map yet. He hasn't gotten any farther than he did really during Archaic with those priests. So, you know, that was some good limiting by Ferd. It did prevent Skipper from finding out everything. So we're having sort of a strange move out here from Skipper. It's almost like he feels, has some sort of sense that since Ferd has backed off and he hasn't seen him do anything for a while, that perhaps he was walling it here. So he does move out, and he is going to prevent that wall from fully going up. So that is a nice little meta play, and I think really shows, you know, just how the level these players are on, as well as the fact that they played a fair amount together and were aware of each other's style. This right here almost looks like a metagame prediction from Skipper to me. He just knows that Ferd likes to wall the middle and Oasis around this time. So he's just going to come out and be like, no, that wall that you put up, that's not going to actually do anything. So we have Ferd's army coming sort of around here. And he's like, well, I'm walled here, so I just sort of have to defend here, and this is annoying, but it can't really do anything. The Pharaoh is up here. I guess I presume that Skipper will be, not really sure. He does have racks, but there are not many units coming out of them. We got a slinger. Let's check out his economic upgrades. Hand axe, husbandry, and pickaxe. So he's got the first basic line of upgrades without Sans farming. No farming upgrades going up as we speak. And Ferd is like, alright, well, he's backed off, so I'm just going to repair this wall. But this little bit of aggression was, quite nice, because now this army of third here could totally stop this third town center from Skipper, but now he's not, because he's rebuilding the wall instead and feeling a little bit defensive. But Ferd has taken his own third town center too. So it's not really a big deal that Skipper has his, because I'd imagine that based on how the meta used to be now, I'd imagine we're going to see a really big boom from Ferd, possibly into a Ragnarok or something. Although it's not guaranteed, because Ferd was a type of player that could just play really weird styles and make them work. You saw this a lot with a lot of old Thor experts. They would play these styles that you just didn't really think. Objectively, it doesn't look that clean. Objectively, it doesn't look that great. But, they sort of really exploited the bonuses of Thor, the increased economy, utility of dwarves, the Dwarven mine, just the strength of the Norse economy, if well managed in general, to do things that, looks a little weird, but actually work pretty well. Yeah, even some of the Thor experts of, little later of times, like Spoift, you would see this too, where he would just advance at 530 or something, and just build units out of 3 racks and win with, the benefits of the Thor economy and the cheaper army upgrades and just continuing to boom and whatnot. So yeah, just keep in mind, I don't really know how Thor is these days, but the game in general has become a lot cleaner. So, just keep that in mind, when you see this. Despite the older styles of Thor play, these guys were very, very talented. And as we can see, by the standards of, in a certain sense, by the standards of the modern metagame, this is well played too, because, both players respond to their opponent's town centers with town centers of their own. Let's check out Ferd's economy upgrades. He also has the first line of upgrades. Interesting. And there's a little raid here, and the Sphinx is in position to respond around with some slingers, so these units are going to fall. Although the Sphinx may escape. It shouldn't, but it might. There's a small chance. The slinger is done. Or not. He might. No? Alrighty. Save the slinger. That's great. It can be healed by the priest. We have a Ferd sort of pushing in here with a little bit of an army. Keeping the raid up here. Let's see how Skipper's looking. So it looks like neither player is really anywhere near any point where they can go heroic. They're sort of stuck in the mode of classical at this point, because they're both conducting absolutely enormous booms. And we're not having much in the way of armory techs either, because both players are investing very, very heavily into their economy. Although, scratch that, Ferd is now on the way to heroic Frugragi. So, considering the size of his boom, I think this is a pretty respectable time. Just look at this right here. He's got 36, 14, 9. That's a pretty big economy. So yeah, he's on set for a pretty fast, or relatively semi-fast heroic. 1330 or so. So pretty fast. And Skipper is not going heroic yet. He seems to be going really heavy on slingers, which is interesting. People usually don't think of slingers as a good unit against Norse at all. But in this situation, I guess it's doing it for him, despite the fact that, there's a heavy raider composition. Medium raiders, and we're going to see a hill fort coming down here. So, yeah. So Skipper has walled up the upper left side of the map, and there is, in fact, no wall from Ferd there. So we'll have to see how that could impact the game, the fact that Skipper is controlling this side and Ferd is not. But on the other hand, Ferd is controlling this expansion gold mine with a hill fort, which does not have any ups in terms of, town centers or anything. Still no armory techs, although we do have thundering hooves, which is a great tech. Fortified town centers coming down. That's good. He'll have more population. And now we see that, Bird's trying to establish another hill fort. And Skipper seems to be realized that he is in danger here, just because of the flaming weapons and the fact that he only has one gold mine. He is coming heroic, so, the moment of danger we're still past, but if Ferd had gone all in there and used flaming weapons, that definitely could have been a very scary moment for Skipper, which is, I imagine, why he has built this tower here, and he's also building monuments to soldiers here, which I guess, back in the old days, when you had to, the flaming weapon power worked differently, and you had to literally click it on a unit to make it work. So this meant that, sometimes, if you got lucky, the monument could actually block the flaming weapons for a few seconds, and the Norse player would have to either go to a unit that was outside monument range or pull a unit outside of monument range, a military unit, in order to activate his GP. So here we see, a bit of metagame play that really isn't relevant anymore, because now a Norse player doesn't have to target a unit. I think that was overall a pretty solid change. Sometimes you would fight and not be able to cast your god power, just because there was a lag spike or something. So, yeah, overall pretty good change, but it did remove that amount of counterplay from the Oasis toolkit. So I don't know, I guess the game technically is slightly simpler because of it. Here we see a nice defensive position from Skipper. He's got the watchtowers and the Migdal strongholds. And he's made sure to have lots of barracks because what will this allow him to do? It will allow him to really pop out very quick again if he loses a whole bunch of units, such as he would during flaming weapons. So that's really smart. A lot of the time you'll see bad, frankly, Egyptian players, and and I'm including myself in that. My Egyptian is pretty bad, with only like 1 or 2 barracks, and they just can't pop out fast enough in a situation where they lose their army. So Skipper has tried to expand here, but I think Ferd is aware of it, and he harassed a little bit and is starting to take control, and raiders are coming in. So Skipper realizes that the jig is up. He's like, alright, I'm 970 gold, I'm just going to pull back, and he does pull back. And now Ferd is moving to wall this side of the map and take control of this area, which will definitely further his plan for gold starving. So, yeah, so this is not as dire as it looks because Skipper still has 2,000 gold in his gold mine, which is definitely enough to allow him to make some sort of play to get back in the game. He has gotten decent armory upgrades, and here, this is really cool, he has gone for Levy Barracks, so he must have been concerned about getting, potentially popped out by a flaming weapons attack. It's just very interesting you got that, you don't see that upgrade too much. Very cool. So now he is almost up with Osiris, so that should definitely really work to help him push out. Although Ferd is also up with Balder, so we definitely have the sort of situation coming to place that we were talking about earlier, where there has just been a huge boom, and now both players are in the early Mythic Age, quite early on in the game, with their full power. Although I have to say that Skipper, in getting that tech, the speed tech levy or whatever for, the barracks, that was really, really smart, just because, that helped so much against the heroes of Ragnarok. So it's really nice to see that out early in combination with all of these barracks. I don't think Ragnarok will be a problem for him unless something goes really, really wrong. So Ferd has upgraded his walls. He is going to really try to maintain map control and keep Skipper sort of contained to this side of the map in his pocket. And that should help him. If he can keep him contained, he will prevent Skipper from developing an ideal trade route. And Skipper does have a trade route, don't get me wrong. Do you see the SOO over here? But, 50 gold. It's okay. I'd say he has like 3/4 of a trade route. So Ferg will probably want to continue to push in if he can, because Skipper will be able to start trading, not perfectly, but just allowing him to slowly set up trade here will probably not be enough to win. Objectively, though, Ferg's trade route is much better, and we see he's what is he gathering? 76 gold. So that's a big difference. His trade is going to be substantially more efficient. And Ferg does now see, I believe, with the Valkyrie, yeah, he saw it. He saw the market there, so he'll be able to do something about that. We see some ballista coming out, but they don't really have any upgrades, and they're usually not that great before they have upgrades. We now see that Skipper is getting really nice upgrades, as is Ferg. He's almost to the legendary. It's partway to iron, almost to the extra Thor upgrade. So, yeah, both players have boomed out very nicely. We're continuing to get more Hilforts here. Yeah. Now we have a big Egyptian army massed up here, and this is going to be a key point in the game soon, because there are small amounts of units in here harassing the trade, and that will mean that this trade route really isn't going to be ready for Skipper that soon. So the pressure is now going to be on him to either defend really well, which is totally possible, or to I would say push out and try to establish control over some of these gold mines. So, this rating is annoying. He's getting, Ferg's getting quite good value from it, and he even forced a few mercenaries, which, not ideal, to make a mercenary to beat, like, a unit or two. But the Son of Osiris is going to be a big issue. I would like to see some catapults, though, but I guess Skipper's really focusing on just having the maximum military army. And these axemen are really dangerous against the Norse player. That's going to be tough for him to beat. So here we are. We're getting ballista shooting in, and we're also getting fire giant. And SOO is firing again and again and again. But now he's being targeted down by the ballista. So that shows one of the best ways to kill the Son of Osiris. And this is definitely why Ferg has them here. So yeah. This push, I don't know. It does look powerful, but the lack of siege, the lack of catapults is, I believe, really limiting it. And strangely, I don't see any siege workshop from Shaka, from Mr. Skipper. So he has a research titan, and he will be going for a titan now. Seeing as that he's been sort of locked into the game, and Ferg managed to really prevent the trade from getting started that fast. So yes, it's going to be necessary for Skipper to go for a titan here to break out of this lock, or at least he feels it's going to be necessary. It'll definitely make it much easier and reduce the possibility of him being taken out of the game. But Ferg also has Research Titan Gate, and presumably will be developing his own titan soon. Although it's harder for Norse to build, just because of the infantry building aspect, and Norse builders not being the most efficient builders in the history of the game. But this is good here, though. This is very good. The walls with the ballista behind. It's definitely providing a nice counter to the Son of Osiris, and is allowing Ferg to just slowly push his Egyptian opponent. However, the Titan Gate is really starting to come up, and I don't think Ferg has the forces to push in here fast enough to get to the gate in time. But we shall see, because, we have Ragnarok coming out, boys. That's right, it's Ragnarok. It's the Battle of the Gods. And let's see what Ferg's population is. 308, so let's see his military count. He has gone up to just over 100 military units, so this is a large Ragnarok, and Yeah, let's see what he does with it. There's a big group, and he does have flaming weapons still. Let's see his armory attacks. He is nearly fully upgraded. Actually, scratch that. He is completely fully upgraded. So, this is a fully upgraded 100 pop Ragnarok. Now, granted, Skipper does have, the capability to beat this because of the upgraded Axemen with, now he has conscript. So, they're going to train even faster. So that's very good. So, I'm a little worried about this Ragnarok, but on the other hand, it is fully upgraded. Let's see what it does. And this is definitely smart of a Ferd though. Uses the Ragnarok to build the Titan Gate. So I'd imagine he'll just be harassing with this group down here until the Titan Gate is up, and then he'll make whatever play that he's deciding to make. This is nice. He's moving to harass the docks and also establish hill forts, but he's going to have to retreat here when the Axemen come in. You just don't want to lose your heroes of Ragnarok in such an inefficient and poor trade. Coming in here didn't do too much. So yeah, but he is fighting here, and I don't know about this. I mean, you see, despite heavily outnumbering his opponent, these heroes of Ragnarok are not winning the fight, and keep in mind, Skipper can just pump these heroes, these Axemen out, whereas these heroes of Ragnarok, you're not going to get anymore. They're irreplaceable. So, I don't know. Maybe it was worth it, though. He did stop the trade. And again, this is an expert level player, so please take whatever I'm saying with a grain of salt, of course, Everything, is certainly open to interpretation. And, everything you see is just my opinion here as a player. So, we have sort of this mass army sitting in here, and it's going to try to engage the Titan and slow it down. Ferd's gate is almost up, so he will have his own Titan. So, this is still very much anyone's game. And Ferd's trade does look decent. Not massive, but pretty solid, which will help him recover from Ragnarok, which is great. So right here we have the Titan coming in, and we're fighting. But now Skipper has established his trade on the other side, so controlling this area did not stop the trade, and yeah, a little bit more fighting going on here. A bit more favorable for Ferd, given that he's fighting under the fire, but once again, he just takes heavy losses fighting into counter units. So here we have this really nasty combination of the Son of Osiris and the Titan against flaming heroes of Ragnarok and flaming Ballista. So this is quite the battle, and we have the Norse Titan, this bald-headed giant troll guy here too. So this is quite the battle, boys, and we'll have to see who emerges victorious. Yeah. So Son of Osiris has unfortunately died, so that's a loss. But the Ballista took him out, and it is what it is. He put work in. He survived for a while. Yeah. So it is what it is. Ferd's Titan is coming in here to fight, but what happens is Skipper's immediately throwing down the Eclipse. He didn't really have any great opportunity for AE to really be really powerful. So he just saved the Eclipse, and that's very nice. That will allow him, despite being beyond in health, to really do a lot of damage to the Titan of his Norse opponent. And despite the fact that he's surrounded by Berserkers, the Egyptian Titan is only ever so slightly behind the Norse Titan here. 105 versus 70, that's a pretty significant attack damage. So we'll have to see. It looks like this Titan battle is going to be effectively more or less a stalemate. Although, I don't know why Skipper's Titan was running away. You think he would have just wanted to get the extra damage on and wipe out the Titan. But with only 608 HP, that Titan will probably not be in the running much longer anyway. So, yeah. These hill forts still remain here, but, Skipper's over here gathering from that. 44 gold, so not quite as good, but 44 gold is better than no gold. And Shaka, Mr. Skipper, you're a little low on gold right now. But let's see how Ferd is doing. As you can imagine, he's rebuilding from Ragnarok. He is able to produce from 3 town centers, which means that he's not going to be out of this game for as long as you think. But as for right now, he's going to be at a major disadvantage once this Titan falls, which it will soon. And this point, after the Titan dies, this will be the opportunity for Skipper for the first time, in my opinion, to really start to move into the driver's seat of this game. Until this point, Ferd, through his just walls, I think, has more or less dictated the game. Certainly controlled the pacing of the game by, preventing his Egyptian opponent from expanding too far and consigning him to this portion of the map. I mean, if Skipper had been able to set up trade here or here, this game would almost certainly be over by now. But because Ferd is controlling the sides of the map, he is still in this game. So we will have to wait and see what happens. And here we have a Fire Giant coming out, and he has more Fire Giants coming out. So we're going to get the Fire Giant follow-up to Rag, which works really well, if you have trade like he does. So it was definitely not an all-in Rag, like, you might see where he tries to rush the Rag as early as possible. This was more of a strategic Rag, designed to, keep him in the game, maybe move him ahead a little bit. And, it certainly wiped out the potential of Skipper's Titan, that's for sure. But right now it is tough, just because the Egyptian at this point, is making a lot of military and is fully popped. As we can see, he's also already extending his trade route. So I'd imagine once he has that up, he'll then build up the confidence to push through the wall and try to get a proper trade route, which should, if he gets that, I think Ferd is going to be having some issues in this game. This nice long trade route for Ferd, wow. And, yep, everybody is just very upgraded at this point. Pretty much everything that they need. Pretty much everything that you would ever need in a game, more or less. So, yeah, very, very, very good play so far. And, we'll have to see what else is going on. And, here we go, pushing. We have the Fire Giants coming in. So, unfortunately, these Fire Giants lack the Hell Up Granite Blood. So, they're never going to be as good as Loki Fire Giants, but still, they're still a strong if unit, and with Ballista, you can really focus the priests and abuse Fire and Giant Ballista against Egyptian in certain stages of the game if your micro is good. Some walls would be really good because it appears that, Shaka is making some emergency mercs in an attempt to try to keep this composition better, because this composition really is tough. And it's interesting to see that Skipper is preferring to fight this composition with not really priests, but just mercenaries and just more units. Oh, he is making some priests. Never mind. I guess it's just neglected. He didn't want to build out of the temple. Okay, that makes sense. They're closer by, so he is making them. So, yeah, excuse me there. My bad. So yeah, he's continuing to push, losing a villager there, and yeah, it's interesting how psychologically powerful these walls are, because despite the fact that Skipper would certainly benefit from controlling the sides of the map, I had not seen him attempt a serious breakout strategy on the side. So, here we really see Ferd's power, that he's using the walls to just sort of psychologically contain his opponent, and we see the power of that even against a really a top-level expert, a player that many would call the greatest of all time. The walls still have had a psychological impact. I mean, look at that. That trade route, alright, it's okay, but it's not what it could be, right? And as a result of that, Skipper is perennially low on gold. His economy is very strong, but he's low on gold.
In which?
I'm not entirely sure how to check if he has researched the upgrades for increasing trading yet. But yeah, we can see that after Ragnarok, Skipper has really moved substantially into the economic advantage in this game. Yeah, unfortunately I can't find anything about resources traded. I don't think it has that. Oh well. I don't know if he's trading resources or not. Probably not. He does have a pretty good trade, but you know, and once again, if it was longer, it would be an amazing trade. But hey, what can you do? But he is starting to stabilize on the gold there, and he's able to afford his mercenaries, so it's pretty cool. Anyway, look at the size of those axes on those fully upgraded raiders. That is awesome. Skipper's now trying to just push this down with mercenaries and laborers, I guess, using their hack damage. So that's gonna work, I think. Ironically, that one laborer could actually kill this entire hill fort, since it does not have boiling oil and cannot detect the unit right by it, which is pretty funny. We're continuing to just fight in the middle, just having a slug of a fight in the middle. But it looks like maybe Ferd is starting to get pushed back a little bit. I'd imagine, well, he has almost come up to 160 population again. So here we see that Ferd has very quickly boomed partially back, most of the way back into the game. And that's pretty impressive. You know, he seems to be satisfied with his villager population, because there's nothing more queued up. So, you know, that just shows how quickly you can recover. This is a little unfortunate, but easy to let it happen. Some idle military units. Nice to grab those, but hey, what can you do? This has already been a long game. This is already longer than most games, I would say. And he's got the portable rams, which do not have the Baldur ups, unfortunately, coming in. And despite not having the Baldur ups, it's doing a lot of damage. Does he have Sons of Sleipnir? Yes, he does. So, Sons of Sleipnir is a great late game up, and it just makes your raiders have bonus damage against archers, which is really good, because it's going to essentially obsolete these champion slingers, and you know, it will make chariot archers pretty useless too. It's very interesting that Skipper seems to be focusing much more on barrack units than Megidal units, with not even a single Megidal unit right now. And certainly, I understood it before, but now, you know, that the Ragnarok has been defeated, it can't come back, so, it's still killing it, that's funny. So, I'm surprised to see that he's still focusing so heavily on, units from the barracks. There we're seeing a catapult come out, first catapult, as far as I know, so that's very good. It will allow him to really start pushing through here. And I think this game should definitely, show that, you know, barrack units can be really strong, and, you know, that they're definitely not junk like most people think. They can be better for a lot of situations. A little bit of a fight coming down here. Just basically, Ferd's trying to harass this trade, maybe stop it, and Skipper's trying to defend with his wood villagers. He might need to put some army there, because he's just losing villagers for no reason, which, you know, who wants to do that? But on the other hand, he is pushing through in the middle, and if this push continues, he's going to be able to gather that gold mine pretty soon. Which is not good news for Ferd, because he has sort of been trying to win this game by controlling the sides and forcing, you know, his opponent into bad fighting matchups, and forcing them to just sort of not trade optimally. So he is coming in here and messing around with this trade. So Skipper's forced to respawn. by coming over and putting a Midgedal down, bringing over some military, he's like, alright, this is just getting to be too much of a pain. I need to fortify this before he puts up towers. Yeah, so that hill fort is down. And just continuing to have the stalemate fight in the center. I imagine when Skipper returns his attention to this fight, he will be trying to push through again. But for right now, he's trying to secure his trade. We do have a small amount of buildings that have gone up here to just help Ferd provide pressure. And, oh, it seems as though Ferd made some units and killed off the villager that was killing the hill fort. So the villager did not get to kill the hill fort. You know, RIP villager, you were good, it was good knowing you. You were a good villager, you were one of the best villagers, you were very good. You will be greatly missed and all that stuff. Yeah, okay, enough of that, sorry. Now we see him making use of the portable ram, and he does have Dwarven Augur, the Balder ram, excellently improving speed, training rate, and attack. So, you know, with this, we can see that the crush is up to 68, and the speed is up to 4.5. So that is quite fast for a siege unit, and an additional 28 siege between engineers and the Dwarven Augur is really nice. So these rams, they can move a little faster than you would think, and if you're not paying attention, Balder rams can come and just take down your town center before you even realize it. So I'd say a better unit than most people realize. You just don't hear too much about them because Norse do have certain weaknesses in late game that make the unit less impactful than it could be if they belong to another civilization, but still a very strong unit. So the fighting has a sort of stalemated here, and no more siege has come out for Skipper. It's one of the issues with auto queue. Your higher pop units don't really come out once your economy gets rolling, unless you lose a lot or stop production, which can be an issue. He is murking in here because what's happening is that Ferd has used the lack of siege to give him an opportunity to try to tower up here and push back towards Skipper. So that's very annoying. But it seems that Skipper is successfully securing this side of his trade against this aggression. And he also does seem to be fighting successfully here. So this is not great for Ferd at this point, but you know, he is still keeping Skipper contained. And we are seeing him trying to vary the sides in which he's getting ready to attack on. But this is really annoying. Oh, that is so annoying. You know, Balder Ram's getting killed by mercenaries. Not fun, not fun. Ugh. But Ferd just waits for the timer to run out. That's hilarious. Now, I guess Skipper has had enough of being contained here, and he's finally breaking out of the psychological wall. He could have come through and broken through here a long time ago, but you know, again, walls have a big psychological impact. So sometimes even good players won't break them down because it's a wall, and you psychologically feel as though you shouldn't break it down. Sometimes it's very strange, but you see it a lot. So he has broken it down here. So I'd imagine the villagers, they could move in and attack that hill fort. And yes, there we go. They will be attacking the hill fort almost certainly. So that many villagers can actually kill a hill fort really quick. You know, 11 times 8. That's a lot. He's doing close to 100 damage every second to that fort. 70 or so. So it's going to go down really quick. And there we go, already half health. So the fight here continues to be sort of a stalemate. Ferd has found the idol Hero of Ragnarok, which is great. So, you know, it's just unfortunate for Ferd, not for Ferd, for Skipper, because if he did have the siege out, he could totally just push right through this location right now and pile drive his opponent, but what can you do? So Skipper did try to take this down with his villagers, but Ferd has immediately responded and shipped off a round of Ulfsarks. And one thing that we notice about the way Ferd is playing, getting his speed versus the way Skipper is playing, is that since he has to fight on the sides, he is relying less on auto queue and playing more reactively, building units more in the places that he needs them. So that's allowing him to continue to keep showing on multiple sides. Whereas if we look at Skipper, he's relying very heavily on auto queue and just trying to focus more on fighting in one area. So we're definitely seeing a big difference in play styles here, and we're seeing two rival play styles go head to head. So Skipper is building towers here. He really needs to continue to defend this trade, because if he loses this trade, he's dead, because Ferdinand controls this point over here. And this push here, it looks like he should be winning, but it's not enough. Slingers are not so good against buildings and ballistas, so it's not really doing what he needs there. There are these annoying 4.5 speed portable rams coming in, but Skipper is responding. Nonetheless, these rams are still going to do some damage to the town center, just to add a virtue of 3 of them attacking. Nothing too much. It's going to come nowhere, because, oh, well, he is coming in with more and more rams. I don't think he's going to do much of anything, but, well, there you go. The town center is getting pretty close to falling down, boys, and wow, that is impressive. Here we see the power of the Balder Rams, and I think the town center will go down. I do not think Skipper can stop it. So, wow. Ferd has come in at a really sneaky time and brought down the town center. So Shaka is immediately backing off because he doesn't want to fight and lose these units here, because, if he fights and just loses them for no reason over here, he's not rebuilding these units until the town center is up. I'd imagine Ferd will just try to flood into this position and try to prevent this town center from going back up. So yep, there you go. The units are immediately moving in. Will the siege come over and try to hit that? I don't know, but this might not be as impactful as it could be, because as we see, the empowered town center went up ludicrously fast. Yeah, one of the biggest problems against Egyptian is just how fast they empower the town center up. And you see, Ferd was almost reacting, but by the time he reacted, it was unfortunately too late. He needed to just suicide his army and keep that up from going back up, honestly. That's unfortunate, but hey, it happens. It's very easy to miss something like that. You only have a very few seconds to make the correct choice. And well, it's not easy. Very, very easy to just make a silly decision that feels sort of right at the time. But Ferd's not giving up because that happened. He's still trying to harass here. And his military units won't do too much, but he has brought in this fire giant, which can soak a lot of pierce damage. And that will be really annoying for our Egyptian player. So the fight is still continuing to come in here, and oh, that's mad funny. Ferd is taking a farm down. Annoying. Probably misclicked that, but you never know. Sometimes you do see farm raiding. Hilarious against the Delanian, by the way. And this push on the bottom corner here is really, really starting to have effects. And I feel like Skipper, despite looking like he's okay, is starting to really feel some pressure, maybe more than he did before, just because Ferd is coming in here, and that's not great. He's taken out the siege works. He's continuing to pressure up here, and the Migdol, which secured the area, will be going down to the Balder Rams. So I would say that it occurred to me like this game was going to go out of Ferd's control after the Titan War, but Ferd has been using Balder Rams to great effect. I mean, wow. These Balder Rams are really putting in work, everyone. And even we see here, he's threatening the town center again with just a very few Rams, and definitely putting the stress in on Skipper. This is nice because he can sort of do pincher movements where he comes from here, up here, and then he comes from down here, and it creates an awkward position where his opponent has to fight on both sides. I do not know why there still continue to be so many slingers in Skipper's composition, and it does appear that he will be changing that soon, as he has cancelled auto queue on these slingers. So, very interesting. I'm not sure what his military is doing. I guess he's experiencing some gold problems. and he's trying to go into mercenaries. I guess that's why he stopped the units. So that makes sense. If you need the unit right now, there's nothing that's quite like the mercenary. Here we see the true power of the Pharaoh. 25 attack, wow. It's getting more and more powerful each age. By the time the Pharaoh gets going in Mythic, well, I mean, he really is a great unit. Did he get New Kingdom? No, I don't see New Kingdom. I would like to see New Kingdom, but that's an incredible tech. But he did get City of the Dead, so that's always a good one. You know, an additional 60 hit points, additional 250 or so for SOO. Very good. Coming in, and yeah, you see, these siege rams are just getting hits that they shouldn't hit because Skipper is all invested into slingers. You know, the melee needs to move up there and just kill those instead of really damaging that town side. But he does have siege out again. Perhaps that was why he stopped queuing up. He wanted to make siege up again. He does seem to be aware of the vulnerability of his composition now as he's moving into Axemen. So these siege are getting immediately pushed back, which is unfortunate, but the repair is coming down, and now Skipper is going to try to come in and attack this position because this is becoming a real pain at this point. So he's moving in with a whole bunch of infantry, and Ferd, I guess, is going to, well, the AI of Ferd is trying to defend. I don't think Ferd is microing that. So, you know, let's move back to this main area. Ferd is coming in here, but there's a whole bunch of Scorpion men stacked up, and that's annoying. I think it will just continue to be stalemated in this area now. Because Ferd's army is nice, but these Scorpion men are nice too. Although we see that Shaka has cleared out Ferd's buildings on the left here within his territory. And now he's finally attacking the all-important psychological barrier of this map. And this is actually slightly annoying for Ferd, just because his hunt is now, not his hunt, excuse me, his trade is now over here. So we'll have to see how he responds to that. So very, very interesting. But Balder Ram's coming and pushing the other side now. This is the really great thing that Ferd is doing this game. Whenever one front starts to go bad for him, is things I want to do against Egyptian in late game. Ferd just, you know, because he's manually controlling almost all his unit production, which takes a lot of skill to do, by the way. Or at least do well. Because he's manually controlling his unit production, he is able to attack on the front that benefits him the most and build the exact composition of units that he wants, which I think often keeps giving him a small advantage in this fight over Skipper. So now we have the Midgedal being threatened, but there are a lot of villagers here, and I think I just turned north. So Ferd has prepared. No, he hasn't. Well, yeah, he has prepared. Yeah, excuse me, he has prepared for the possibility of losing these markets. He simply established the market over here. He's not too worried about it. And he's gathering gold from here, which really can't hurt. I will say, though, that his economy is starting to... Well, he just has less on food than I would expect, although he does seem to have plenty of food, so very interesting. I guess because he's manually building his army, the efficiency of his units that he's getting is very good. Small raid coming onto this gold, not really a big deal. The trade is relocating, seeing as these units have come down here, these slingers, along with this siege tower. But that is allowing Ferd to really come in here and punish Skipper in the middle of the map. Maybe a way that we haven't seen Skipper in trouble like this quite here for a while. Oh no, that's unfortunate. A little bad pathing there. Must have been a misclick by Ferd, but you know what happens. They're getting through. Oh, that's funny. Go trade, guys. Oh, they're not getting through. Oh, alright. Hopefully he'll notice that. But I'd imagine his focus is on, number one, this attack here, as well as his own attack. He did lose a house, so Ferd is going to be housed. And he did lose another house somewhere here too, so he needs to become unhoused immediately. Let's hope he notices it. Yes, now he just needs one more house. So Ferd being very on top of everything. And this little push here is obviously easily defeated. And Ferd has reasserted his wall here and is once again moving to establish himself here. So when he gets kicked out of an area, he comes back immediately, like a cockroach infestation. You know, you kick the roaches out, you poison the roaches are back. The Ulfsec, that's a roach, you know. So here we go, pushing. And now Skipper has once again reorganized his army towards the middle, and sort of the moment for Ferd to come in has passed, although he is reinforcing, certainly not giving it up. Continuing to sort of pressure here on this side, but now it appears that Skipper is also doing so maybe defensive pressure of his own on this side. That's annoying, but what can you do? Let's take a look back at Skipper. Skipper, very high food, low on gold, pretty much the way it's been for most of the game. His opponent's rebuilding here. I don't think he sees it or really paying attention or something. That's a lot of siege rams coming in, and oh, this could be bad, because where are melee units? I don't see the melee units. At least I don't see enough of them. Although, okay. You will kill them before they kill the town center, I believe. Still, that's a little scary. Definitely, if more siege comes in, he could be losing this town center again. I doubt those guys are enough, but, you know, we'll have to see. And we're continuing to see the ram pressure by Ferd up here. These attacks are nice because, at the very least, even if they're only killing cheap buildings, he is forcing his opponent to merc there instead of having the mercs at the front, which is nice. Skipper has done the smart thing now and is now trying to siege a little bit here. He's sieged out that hill fort and he's pushing this position back. He hasn't really done that yet, so that's good. But the unit's gone. You know, we got the good old ballista towers. Got every upgrade known man at this point. I'm still fighting in the middle. We have more racks coming here. Will he be going in on the hill forts again? I don't know. There we go. We're seeing just more fighting. Let me recenter the map. Excuse me, I sometimes rotate it a little and don't realize. I'm trying to keep it more centered ever since one of the viewers commented and, you know, just said that the spinning of the map around was not helping the viewing experience. So I do apologize for that, everyone, you know. And hopefully, you know, that won't be happening anymore. I am trying to move it back if I do spin it. So we do have the Raider. Ooh, this is a lot of military force by Ferd, and he might pick the, he's going to pick the Pharaoh if he's good. And that's good. And sort of Skipper realizes that he responds with all these spearmen and with 3 catapults. Unfortunately, although they are defended behind the wall, they're not really in position either. So we'll have to see what comes of that. Small little military force coming down here. They should be doing something soon. Go for it. This guy's here. I guess he's just there just to see if Ferd starts being sneaky and trades again there. And now we're almost in a reverse position where if Skipper plays right, he could come out here and start to fret and trade on this side right now. So maybe that is what Skipper is really starting to go for, you know. So we'll have to wait and see. He's pushing. And yeah, there we go. There he comes. The big army coming in, and yeah, he's sieging his opponent. So yeah, Skipper will be threatening that trade soon, so Ferd's gonna have to do something about that. Funeral rites priests really do clean up these fire giants. They really need the Loki upgrade to really survive for that long against the Nephthys priest. He has built a lot of her seer. I'm not sure what that was in response to. Maybe the Scorpion men that we saw a little bit back, but I don't like that. They're not population effective at this point in the game. especially if they're not Loki Herseer or Herseer, really fall off really quick, as do Odin Herseer. You really don't see them too much once they have a lot of field forts established. Interestingly, we haven't seen any Jarls from Ferd this game, which I think is interesting, considering he does have thundering hooves and whatnot. Little bit of raids coming down. Skipper is now penetrated into this position here and is clearing out the trade. So let's see how Ferd is doing. And well, that's definitely hurting him, but you know, he does control. Ooh, he does not have a market right now, and he did not rebuild on the other side. So that's not good. If he doesn't build a market soon, he's going to be in a really bad position. So it seems that Skipper is sort of winning the game of who can outlast the longest now. But despite this, Ferd isn't giving up. He's definitely moving in here. And he is hiding his siege rams in his hill fort, which is a really nice tactic, you know, because they don't know what's in the hill fort. And they could easily miss the flag. You know, they have to be looking right there to see. So you can save up your siege and then just come out with a huge amount of siege and blitz your opponent. So he is moving to set up trade with 4 Wolfsark, so he will be okay, I imagine. But ooh, that is really annoying. He needs to respond. He needs to respond. Oh no! Oh no! The army is out of place. The army is so out of place. So that was really sneaky. That was really sneaky, and we're seeing a dwarf response. Very sneaky because these guys were chilling back here. You know, I think they might have been out of line of sight range, although maybe they weren't. Don't quote me, but it looked kind of sneaky. I think Skipper was trying to hold them back there to sneak. You know, and that's really bad. Ooh, I feel for its pain. Just the pain of just losing your town center to catapults all of a sudden. So, oh, but Ferd is striking back with, this is what I was talking about, a ridiculous siege push involving 7 Balder rams. Although now he does not seem to be watching them, which is not ideal. But he has equalized town centers temporarily for now, so I'd imagine he'll be flooding in and trying to control. We're also fighting here and rebuilding his town center. The raiders need to immediately move back and join the main fight by this town center here while his infantry rebuild. So this position is being sieged down here now, and I don't know. At this point, I feel like it's going to be tough for Ferd to win the game. Just because Isis has come out on the left here and has broken the contain, which means that the trade will inevitably be setting up over here. And once the trade route gets set up, the Isis economy will just go ballistic. At this point, he's definitely right. His best chance of winning this game is to continue fighting right here and just do everything he can to prevent this town center from coming up. And this is where these fire giants really come in for him as opposed to the portable rams. Because the portable rams would have a harder time doing this right now than the fire giants. So that's good. He's keeping his opponent off it while rebuilding his own. But we also see a side build here from Skipper, building his own siege work. So, you know, both players have just been ruthlessly competing this game. This game has been a ruthless competition. The Pharaoh coming up, and he's on his 12th incarnation, okay? Pharaoh died 12 times in this game, boys. So, it's the 12th incarnation of Rana incarnation. So, wow, impressive. Little raid. First time I've seen a chariot archer, I think. I don't know why he's making them just now. I guess because he wanted a raiding unit. They're sort of completely unupgraded, so is this even a good idea at this point? Well, I don't know. He's going all in on it. And he has retaken the town center, so, you know, definitely Ferd fought very well right by here, but that was also well played by Skipper to hold that position. And Ferd's not going to allow him to get this siege works going here. He's just going to kill off the siege works. Although Shock is going to try to kill off the portable ram, and I think he will kill it. Yeah, there he goes. So that's unfortunate. But you know, good response time. Good response time from Mr. Skipper. So right here, you know, we see the middle fight that's just been the dominant fight all game is still happening, but now Skipper is really in a dominant position over Ferd, because Ferd has been, you know, attacked so much that his economy is now sort of going to shambles. And it seemed to me that although he did mostly recover from Ragnarok, there were a couple times I looked at his food numbers and it seemed to be quite low. So I wonder if at some point he stopped recovering from Ragnarok, you know, just due to the stress of this really intense, high level and hardcore game. I mean, you know, definitely one thing we've been seeing this game is both players doing little things, little annoying things that would have wrecked a lesser player, you know, a half hour, 40 minutes ago. A lot of these little plays that they both stopped were actually really powerful and, you know, would put most players out of the game. So there's been a lot of, like, really aggressive fighting going on in all corners of the maps, and tricks and, like, building placement and stuff. So yeah, it's been a really exciting game, and, you know, considering that this map is Egyptian favorite, I think it's been going really well for the Thor player. But at this point, I think it's going to be very hard for him to win. He is continuing to fight on the sides like he needs to, and Skipper still hasn't expanded his trade yet. So, you know, he is continuing to more or less control the sides. That's good. But now Skipper's army has come into his home base, as it did a few minutes ago, and that's just a little annoying. It's bad for Ferd because, you know, his economy is just not what it could be. He seems to have stopped producing bills, which I think is just stress, because, you know, we can see he really needs to rebuild bills right now. But when you're in a position where you're just getting pushed really hard by your enemy like this, it's really easy to forget something. And, you know, he's staying on top of a lot of things. He's rewalled that, like, what, like 20 times? Not literally, but a lot. Yeah. So he is once again coming here, popping out again, though. So Ferd, you know, so alright, I'm losing. He sticks back a little bit. He attacks on the sides, and he's trying to remain in the game that way. But this army with all these catapults looks super scary. And this right here, these catapults, these are the dangerous thing. You know, with all that range, and all with 30 range, 40 line of sight, and 63 crush damage, it's very tough to stop them, as we can see. And ironically, that was a god tier stoppage from Ferd, saving his town center when it was at 52 hit points. So, you know, there you go. If you are good, you can stop them. It's just not easy. They're a tough unit, and particularly once Egyptian comes out with his midgels and stuff, and is sort of firing the catapults from behind the midgels, it can be tough. But, you know, Ferd continuing to hang tight. We have a stack of champion elephants coming out. So I'd imagine they'll be trying to take out buildings. So neither player letting their opponent even have a breather on you know, the contested areas of the map. As soon as one reconquers, they're immediately reconquering from each other. And here we see Ferd immediately responds by queuing up a bunch of Ulsarks, which are a great counter to elephants. So it's very interesting seeing Ferd playing this responsive style. And yeah, we really see, I think, his low amount of food gatherer is really biting him in the ass now, that he's low food. I think if he just had, like, 7 or 8 more, he would be in a better position to have more population right now. But, you know, once again, that's easier said than done. Once Egypt starts to get really established in late game, it becomes really hard. So, you know, can't really judge it too much. But for now, the Fire Giants are holding his Egyptian opponent back and keeping Ferd in the game. And he is still benefiting from the longer trade route than his opponent. So that is by far, you know, something that he still has going for him. Pushing in here, and now he has 4 Fire Giants. So the Egyptian is sort of, well, this fire giant's moving forward a little too much. It's going to be lost for nothing. But with only one priest, that should be annoying for the two now. Okay, so, Skipper's also, I think he has, at some point, he shifted to managing his economy. Not so much auto queue, but more manually. After realizing that he was actually starting to be put at a disadvantage against Bird, because Bird was managing manually, and he wasn't. So now Randolph is now on its 13th incarnation, my friends, in this game of over an hour in length. So, that Pharaoh has certainly been generating plenty of free value for our Egyptian player, which is, one of the really strong things about Egyptian that nobody really considers. The Pharaoh is essentially a free unit, and the longer the game goes for, basically the more powerful the Pharaoh becomes. If you think about it, because you can just, once he dies, you just get him back for free again and again and again. It's not a big impact, but the respawning of the Pharaoh is one of those things that I think makes Egyptians, just seem to have huge power spikes almost randomly, because these little things slowly add up. Not that I think it should be removed or anything, it's a key design concept of Egyptian, but yeah, essentially those 13 pharaohs have been free, which it's not a big deal, but it is relevant, and particularly in high-level games where these things matter. We're continuing to have elephants versus bullsharks here, and here we go. We have our Egyptian player once again pushing in with catapults, but he has a bunch of priests this time, so these fire giants that have been killed off, they're not going to do it. And this is not looking wonderful for our Thor player. Yeah, losing that army there, though he's coming out with his own siege here. My God, look how many shields those guys are wearing. Wow. And so he is more or less stalemating the fight here, but it doesn't really matter, because due to the 30 range, the catapults are firing, from a very, very long distance. And firing over the army, firing over the fighting units, and just ending the lives of many buildings. So a Mijdal has been established here, and so Ferd's going to have to try to resist there. Yep. Falling down a bit in population again, and now we're starting to see him fall low on gold. Although, immediately he gets back up, so I guess that was a bit of a false alarm. But the population's falling now. He's just at this point engaging in too many unfavorable trades. When he's lost his close production units, he's lost almost all of his hill forts, so at this point it's going to be very tough for Ferd to come back. But yeah, it's been really been an epic game, and we'll see. Ferd's still not wanting to tap out. We're still seeing him, despite being pretty low in pot. Ah, there we go. Alright, so that was a really impressive game, everyone. And I think Ferd played a beast of a game, despite being on a map where you really are not favored against Isis. I don't really understand the army composition that Skipper was going for with all the slingers. So if any more experienced player has any comments on that, feel free to comment. And I think the coolest part about this game was very much witnessing how Ferd was really able to keep the pressure up by manually managing his production. And I think this provides a good counter argument to players who say, well, auto queue's just better. Not necessarily. If you're a skilled player, you will be rewarded for not using it in the correct situations. Anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed the game, and I'll see you next episode on Old School AOS.